Hello, good day. I am Albertus Vargas from BSED1 Block 2. So I am here to discuss the summary topic from Prelim to Final. So the Prelim topic is the introductions to material development. It is a communication is a survival resource. Nuna 1992 states that teaching materials are often the most substantial and observable component of pedagogy. In the process, you are guided that as you become professional teachers, you have to give equal value to the instructional materials as this enhance students' learning. Age 1993 state that materials exist in order to support learning or teaching, so they Lesson number 1, instructional materials for language learning are the heart of active engagements of students in learning. Obanya Malyard and Hig Amadyuha, the essence of producing instructional materials is to facilitate the teaching learning process. They are didactic material things which are supposed to make learning and teaching possible. Obonya 1989. Lesson number 2, authenticity and purposiveness of instructional materials for language learning are essential elements before they can be meaningfully utilized in class. Are some suggestions that may help you as a teacher in selecting and developing appropriate materials for your students' needs and development of their understanding of spoken and written language. Indigenous materials may just be found around the corner. Adapt will prove effective instructional materials. Lesson number 3, Materials Evolution, Tomlinson and Masora 2004. Materials development is a procedure that involves measuring the value of a set of learning materials. Dick and Johnson's 2002. Materials need to be flexible enough to cater individual and contextual differences. In the advent of the fourth industrial revolution, technology-driven learning engagement is at the forefront. Every teacher needs to be proactive in accepting this challenge. An instructional material should embrace the idea of inclusivity as it is beneficial to the entire group of students. Lesson 4, Instructional Materials, Stanford History Education, McDonough and Shaw. Adaptation is modifying primary source documents so that all students can read and analyze them in their classrooms. This ensures alignment of the learning outcomes, learning content, learning activities, and assessments, optimizing appropriacy and relevance. The adaptation of learning materials denotes the modification of the original compositions of the materials to suit to the context of intended learners. Consider the sustainability or alignment of the materials to the desired purpose and to the groups of students, then feel free to make modifications.
The midterm topic is the development of teaching learning materials. It is regarded as one of the major aspects that would promote student learning and help in the achievement of academic goals and objectives. It is essential for the educators to possess the adequate knowledge and information regarding the use of the TLMS. Large number of students drop out of schools even before the educational skills are honed. The major cause behind this is inability to understand the academic concepts. It has been studied that students studying in class 5 are unable to read class 3 textbook. Teaching learning materials are defined as the instrument of presentation and transmission of the prescribed educational materials. They can be classified into visual, auditory, and audiovisual, and various characteristics that are apparent at first glance. These are student motivation, developing creativity, evoking prior knowledge, encouraging the process of interpreting, understanding, organizing, and amalgamating the educational content, logical thinking, and etc. When these are used in different classroom environments, then the students are required to possess various skills. It is essential for the educator as well as the student to possess effective communication skills. Teaching learning materials, TLMS, are primarily used by teachers to provide assistance and support to the learners to achieve academic outcomes. The major objective has been stated as follows: motivate students towards acquisition of education, help in longer retention of information, facilitate holistic learning, and assess and support them in augmentation to psychomotor and cognitive intellectual development. Teaching learning methods help in promoting effective communication processes between the teacher and students and among students themselves, primarily when modern and innovative methods are made use of. Then Students feel motivated towards learning and are also able to bring about changes in attitudes. Teaching learning materials are of various types and are classified various way. Audio TLMS include human voice, telephonic conversation, audio disc, tapes, gramophones, record, and radio broadcast. The types of teaching learning materials is audio and video TLMS. The audio and video TLMS are visual or verbal print, textbook and supplementary books, encyclopedias, magazine, newspaper, documents, clippings, program materials, or case studies. Non-objective two-dimensional TLMS is a form of an image of picture. Explaining the concept, includes model mock-up, diorama, globe, relief maps, spacemen, puppets, and hologram. A chart is diagrammatic presentation of a system process and historical sequence of the event. Time charts are used to represent the occurrence of events in chronological sequence. Poster are meant to provide information among learners regarding an important concept. This includes creativity, ingenuity, and resourcefulness. It is essential to ensure that posters are colorful, as adding attractive colors enable the individuals to pay attention. The size of an objective may be reduced or enlarged. For example, globe is the model of the Earth. It is simplified to show the essential part of the planet. When the size of the model is enlarged, then it shows the details of the object. Overhead projector OHP helps in displaying visual materials as projection on the screen. It is simple projector which is manageable to operate and it is widely used by educators within schools, colleges, and universities. It enables the teachers to talk about and show visuals at the same time. The two forms of OHP transparencies are single transparency and continuous rule. If one wants to make use of 10 single transparency, then the form of single transparency is utilized. There are certain aspects that need to be taken into consideration, such as appropriateness, accuracy, legibility, and comprehensibility. The use of computer supports groups as well as individualized learning. A computer can use to record, analyze, and establish effective communication terms with the students regarded as a hobby, and it is essential for the individuals to get engaged in reading on regular basis. Designing and developing of teaching learning materials collection is the first and foremost step in the preparation of teaching learning materials or any project. It is essential for the students to be aware of precaution, especially when they are making use of tools and materials that may cause injury. In higher education institution, normally in colleges and universities, students as well as educators give presentations. To acquire an efficient understanding in terms of preparation of models, individuals are required to attend training programs and workshops. Teaching learning materials should be implemented in such a manner that students feel motivated and augment interest and enthusiasm towards acquisition of education. During emergency, it is essential to maintain a production of textbook as a priority. In order to implement the teaching learning methods in an appropriate manner, it is vital for the educator to be well prepared and aware. They need to ensure that students acquire an efficient understanding of the concept before they get promoted in that next class. In higher educational institution, educators are vested with the responsibility of writing research paper and books. In rural schools, the teaching materials are not developed in an appropriate manner. It is essential to formulate measures and schemes to ensure that within schools in rural communities there are development of materials to enhance the system of education. An equitable distribution mechanism and to make provision for the maintenance and replenishment of materials is also important. Sharing of learning objectives and learning outcomes is essential for assisting students in the achievement of academic goals. The conclusion of the development of teaching learning materials is the study units offer the means through which the educators can conduct research and develop a teaching competence or skill in a practical manner that will have an immediate impact upon classroom activity. It is essential for the educators to act as leader, guides, and counselors to the students, in some cases with the use of modern and innovative Teaching learning materials, the students feel vulnerable and apprehensive and are not able to understand academic concept. It is necessary for educators employed in educational institution at all levels to possess leadership skills needed to guide and direct students. The semi-final topic is the common strategy, the unconscious internalized knowledge of language that is easily accessed during spontaneous language task, written or spoken. It is gained in the natural language learning process. It means that a person applies a certain grammatical rule in the same way as a child who acquire his first language or mother tongue. The child implicitly learns aspect of language. The approaches of common strategy is the deductive approach or rule-driven, and in deductive approach, reasoning works from general to the specific. Application and example is rules should be true, limited, clear, simple, familiar, relevant. The presentation is should be illustrated, short, and bold, students' comprehension, and personalized. The advantages is to the point, time saving, clearly explain, immediate cognitive expectation, better for analytical learners. The disadvantage of putting terminology is hard to understand. Teacher fronted, not memorable, students that think that language is knowing rules. Conscious learning process, emphasis on error correction, presentation of explicit rules, efficient way to organize and present, ready them to copy with exercises, enhance students' confidence, language acquisition, meaningful interaction is emphasized, authorans are easily understood, learners learn unconsciously. A model for materials design, Hutchinson and Waters 1987 provides 4 key components that provide stimulus, form, structure, and context for writing. The purpose of writing as learning tools, writing exercises are valuable because they help students think critically about course material while encouraging them to grasp, organize, and integrate prior knowledge with new concepts. When instructors provide students with opportunities to organize ideas and improve their ability to articulate those ideas, they contribute to both the education and professional development of their students. Writing to encourage active thinking and learning. Critical thinking problems are designed to convert students from passive to active learners who use course concepts to confront problems, gather and analyze data, prepare hypotheses, and formulate arguments. To base obtain this goal, try assigning short focused problems that require thorough and innovative approach to course material. The writing to explore the main goals for exploratory writing exercises are to clarify thinking, explore ideas, ask questions, reflect on learning, and search for connections between theory and practice. Make clear to students that issues of writing and structure are secondary in these activities, while evidence of a deep and thoughtful engagement with course material is highly valued. Writing to explain these activities encourage critical thinking. At the same time, they promote a thorough understanding of concepts through review analysis. Not only do writing to explain exercise makes students aware of context and audience concerns, they also require students to step outside the course materials in order to see it more objectively. Fresh ideas and a deeper understanding often result from such distancing techniques. So the topic for the final is the technology-based learning education. So what is technology-based learning education or TBL? Technology-based education is the integration of instructional technology into the learning environment of schools. It refers to educational settings that apply advanced technology such as computers and the internet in the process of teaching and learning. The internet holds particular promise among educational technologies since it easily accommodates multiple learning styles and distributed learning models. In the past 5 years, the number of adults who say that they had taken an online course has grown from 1 in 10 to 1 in 4. This explains why the CEO of Cisco calls e-learning the internet killer apps is in an e-learning or TBL model. Workers have access to the training module for a given process only if and when they need it. Technology is already in place that allows TBL delivery systems to anticipate future information and learning needs. Since much of TBL and technology is so new, no leading paradigm has been established regarding the most effective delivery of content. Then, by the board, TBL courses offer a range of benefits over traditional face-to-face training. Five of the primary benefits of TBL are accessibility, flexibility, cost effectiveness, scalability, and self-paced learning. While designed, TBL programs can also accommodate larger volumes of customers at little extra cost. The timely update is a major advantage of TBL course is that they can be centrally developed and centrally updated whenever the need arises. Course developers find the learning content can be streamlined with a course of converted from traditional to TBL delivery. Here are 8 ways in which we can embrace technology-based learning approaches. Students are increasingly creating content that may be shared across the classroom, online platforms, and LMS learning management systems. The idea is to move towards student-centered design that aim for a critical examination of problems. Technology allows us to see issues in a global context and facilitates communication and collaboration on a worldwide scale. E-learning platforms, digital lecturing, or in-person teaching can all be combined to create effective learning experiences. The focus is the mastery of subject knowledge rather than time-based learning. Flop learning is a type of blended learning that reverses the traditional teaching approach. Instead of learning about a topic in class, students use digital information and micro-learning techniques at home. The content of this homework is then explored and discussed in more detail in the classroom. Tutorials are self-paced training programs delivered online from a CD-ROM. Web conferences are synchronous meeting in a virtual environment. Online forums allow learners to interact with each other and the instructor through threaded discussion. Electronic mailing lists, also called listservs, allows members to send messages to each other. Technology-based learning is grouped into synchronous and asynchronous delivery models. In a TBL setting, synchronous learning occurs in the broadcaster lectures, teleconferences, video conferences, or webinars. Synchronous learning delivery occurs when instructors and learners meet in person or via internet, satellite, or phone link up. Asynchronous learning in a DBL environment need not occur at a specified time and is not linked to a specific learning event. Self-paced and synchronous applications include web-based and computer-based courses that learners use at their own pace. Facilitated and synchronous applications range from a simple email dialogue or a bulletin board to a comprehensive virtual learning environment. In a learner-centric TBL, the learner is the navigator and key decision maker. The instructors acts as a coach and facilitators who help the students achieve the learning objectives. This model is aligned with constructivist learning pedagogy, which maintains the student learning the best when they actively participate in the learning. The presumed effectiveness of learner-centered discovery-based method has led the promotion simulations and goal-based scenarios. Simulations have come to be adopted as a part of the BEL and explicitly linked with a constructivist pedagogy. The range of their application has expanded to include marketing, finance, management, and even foreign language. Blended learning combines classroom with online content for some of the best of both worlds. In its most basic form, it combines a synchronous face-to-face lecture with some online follow-up activities, simulation, and goal-based scenarios. The pressure of the effectiveness of learner-centered discovery-based method has led to the promotion of simulations and goal-based scenarios as part of the BEL. Of course, simulation have been used for quite some time as part of military training, for example. But as simulations have come to be adopted as a part of the BEL and explicitly linked with a contrast pedagogy, the range of the application has expanded to new content areas including marketing, finance, management, and even foreign language. Blended learning in the corporate training market is likely to continue to evolve and employ more varied mix of learning tools. Technology-based learning can be implemented in a wide array of forms including through distance education, instructor-led classes, or just-in-time training. The following are example of the variety application in government, industrial, and education. At the K-12 level schools, you'll use TPL as a component in blending learning programs to enrich traditional curriculum in adult education. TPL is beginning to make strides in adult basic education, ESL, Ed preparation, and vocational education. TPLS can integrate this level of evaluation directly into their learning management system. The goal is to learn how well learners are transferring their knowledge back into their workplace. Return on Best ROI is a measurement widely used in this industry to measure value of a specific investment decision whether or not to use the bill should balance its positive attributes. Example, accessibility, flexibility, scalability with these challenges. To be used effectively, the bill must exploit these delivery systems key advantage, adhering to some key principles. Additional macro trends that might guide the future development of the BL. E-learning will move from the home to the street, the gym, and even the slopes and golf courses. Easy to use development tools will allow content experts to develop training content from their desktop. The use of blended learning models with an increased use of video and internet searching is likely to be evident.